The boy who pretended. Frank Abagnale Jr. was a teenager who was incredibly good at pretending to be other people. When he was just 16 years old, he ran away from home and needed to make money. Instead of getting a regular job, he decided to trick banks into giving him cash. He was so confident and smooth-talking that adults believed whatever he said. He soon realized he could pretend to be anyone he wanted to be. Frank's most famous trick was pretending to be an airline pilot for a major airline. He got a pilot's uniform by calling the airline and saying he lost his suit at a hotel. Once he had the crisp blue uniform, everyone treated him with great respect. He walked through airports pretending he was an important captain. He even managed to fly on airplanes for free by sitting in the spare seat in the cockpit. But while pretending to be a pilot, Frank also forged thousands of fake checks. He would write a check on a blank piece of paper and convince banks that it was real money. Because he looked like a wealthy, important pilot, the bank tellers never questioned him. He stole millions of dollars this way and traveled all over the world. He was living a life of luxury, but he was always looking over his shoulder. Frank did not stop at pretending to be a pilot. When the police started looking for a fake pilot, Frank changed his disguise completely. He moved to a new state and pretended to be an important doctor at a large hospital. He read medical books and wore a white coat, and nobody realized he was just a teenager. He managed to run an entire group of doctors without anyone finding out. He also pretended to be a smart lawyer and worked in a real law office for several months. He passed a difficult test just by studying very hard for a few weeks. It seemed like Frank could learn to do anything he wanted to do. But living a life built on lies is exhausting and very lonely. The FBI was always one step behind him, slowly putting the puzzle pieces together. Eventually, Frank's luck ran out, and he was recognized in another country by a flight attendant. He was finally arrested and had to go to very scary prisons in Europe and America. His fun, glamorous life of pretending was completely over. He had to face the serious consequences of lying and stealing from so many people. He spent several dark years locked away in a tiny cell. However, Frank's story has a very surprising ending. Because he was so brilliant at forging checks, the FBI realized they could use his help. They offered to let him out of prison if he would help them catch other thieves. Frank agreed, and he spent the rest of his life working for the FBI. He helped design secure checks that were impossible to fake. Frank completely turned his life around and became a very respected man. His amazing story was even turned into a famous movie called Catch Me If You Can. He often tells young people that crime is never a glamorous adventure. He wishes he had used his brilliant mind for good things when he was a teenager. Honesty is always the best choice you can make. Glossary. Incredibly to a very great degree. Extremely. Pretending, acting as if something is true when it is not. Confident, feeling very sure of yourself and your abilities. Uniform, special clothing worn by members of a specific group. Respect. A feeling of deep admiration for someone. Cockpit. The front area of an airplane where the pilot sits. Forged. Made a fake copy of something to trick people. Convince. To make someone believe that something is true. Luxury, a state of great comfort and expensive living. Disguise, clothes worn to hide your true identity. Glossary continued. Exhausting, making you feel very tired. Recognized, known again from having seen them before. Glamorous, very attractive, exciting, and appealing. Consequences, the negative results of an action. Surprising, causing wonder or astonishment. Brilliant, exceptionally clever, or talented. Respected, deeply admired by many people. Adventure, an unusual and exciting or daring experience. Honesty, being truthful and not telling lies. Choice, an act of selecting or making a decision.